Hello, my name is Julie Harnish, for those of you who don't know me, and I am an online ESL teacher. Today, I just signed my 6th contract with Gogokid, and I am making a video to let you know 13 things that I wish I would have known when I first started.
I wish that I would have known to use a new email address when I started. Just set up an entirely new one so that everything from here on out comes into that separate email. It will make your life so much easier. Use a mentor. I did not. I did not use a mentor, and I started out at Gogokid with a $7.50 base pay. And if I had used a mentor, I'm pretty confident that my base pay would have been higher. That's going to affect your income for the rest of your online teaching career. So definitely use a mentor. They are full of knowledge, and if you have a good mentor, they should practice with you, and they should show you what you need to do to get that higher base pay rate. When you are setting up your profile, use Google Translate to translate what you're saying on your profile to Chinese simplified and then back to English. That way, you know how it's coming across to them and how they're reading it, and use very, very simple language. Do workshops. Do a lot of workshops. I did do workshops. I did do that, but a lot of people don't because you don't get paid for it, and so really, people think if I'm not getting paid for it, what's the point? But the people that are running the workshops have been around the block for a while, and they know what they're doing. And so they're a wealth of knowledge. Like, they have valuable information that you are not going to learn on your own for a very long time. So take all the workshops you can, especially while you're waiting for your schedule to build up. Why not? Have fun. So I remember when I started, I was so nervous. Don't be. So easier said than done, I know, but just have fun with it, because really, they just need a native speaker to help coach them along so they can learn English. My hair is really bugging me today. So have fun with it, and you will learn as you go. Just jump in, have fun. Go to meetups. So the people that you meet at the meetups, other teachers, will be able to also give you knowledge and tidbits that you wouldn't learn on your own for a while. So go, meet other teachers, see how they do things, get some ideas, some information, and some swag. You might get a new shirt or a dyno or something you can use in your classroom. So definitely go to meetups. Ask for apples. I ask for stars at whatever company I'm at, humbly, okay? I'm not pushy about it, I'm not rude about it, but I do ask for them. And the reason for that is because a lot of parents don't realize how important they are to our success at these companies. We need those apples, we need those stars to get our pay raises, to just to be successful overall. So I do ask for them, and all of my regulars know to give me stars or apples after every class, and that really ups my feedback percentage, and then that helps my overall experience at Gogokid, because we do need a certain percentage to qualify for that raise a year later. Change your profile frequently. So I don't have any proof of this other than, it's worked for other teachers, it's worked for myself, but I have never seen this written anywhere. But I am 99.9% sure that something happens in the algorithm when you change something minor on your profile, even if it's a period to an exclamation point, anything really tiny, switch the wording around on something simple, and then resubmit it. Somehow, I believe that kicks you to the top of the list and will help you to get more bookings. So when I first started, I did that once a week for a while, and I got bookings really quickly. So by my 2nd month teaching with Gogokid, I got all the bookings that I could want, and now anything that I open pretty much books. WeChat. If you haven't heard of WeChat, when I first started, I heard of Weibo, and I set up Weibo. Now I hardly ever use Weibo, but I use WeChat daily. WeChat is the #1 go-to social media platform in China, and all of the people use it. They have something on WeChat that's a WeChat Pay, so it's similar to Apple Pay, but that's how they pay for everything in China. Like, they didn't even accept credit cards anywhere that I went in China. So you can use WeChat for just a multitude of things, but for this purpose, what I like to use it for is mostly cultural exchange, because a big part of our job is that cultural exchange. Like, they want to know about our lives outside of this classroom, and really, I want to learn about my students' lives too. And so you can share pictures, you can post pictures on there and videos, and you can also privately message your students. Now, with that being said, you do want to be careful who you give your WeChat information to, because they will be able to contact you, even on your phone. They can call you and everything. They can video chat with you. So it's a really cool tool to have, and I use it for my most favorite regulars. And I also use that to help them book, and the way that I do that is I will keep their slots closed during the frenzy that I know that they want, that they book every week, and then on Monday, I'll open them up for them, but I'll message them first, and I'll say, hey, I'm ready, are you ready? And they'll be ready, and then they can book them. Because otherwise, whatever I open books, and I will get booked with trial classes, with whatever doesn't fill. So this way, I can make sure that my regulars can get classes with me. So when I first set up my WeChat, I'm not going to lie, it took me a good 3 hours on a Saturday trying to figure it out because it's all in Chinese. So one little extra tidbit for you is that if you use Google Chrome, there's a fancy little translate button in the upper corner. Click that, and then it'll switch it to English, and it'll make your life a whole lot easier and make it a whole lot faster to set up. Now, you will need probably someone to verify you because it is China and they're really particular about who uses their social media. And since your phone number will be from America or Canada, they're probably going to want someone to verify that for you. So you can either have a parent of one of your regulars do that in China, or you can find another teacher in America or Canada who has WeChat who can verify you. And you will need to do that immediately. So when you do it, like, say you need someone to verify you, you'll have to let the other teacher know, and she'll have to be ready, and you have to do it. I don't know what the time cutoff is, but it's only a few minutes, and then they'll cancel that request, and you'll have to do it again. So anyway, I do suggest using WeChat, and maybe I'll do a separate video on that later, but that is definitely something I wish that I would have known about when I first started. Chinese culture. So I wish that I had been more educated on Chinese culture. And there's a couple of specific things that I wish I would have known, and I will share those with you. But there's a lot of other things that I know I don't know still. So it will just help you to understand your students better. And so one of the things that I see asked every single winter is, why are all my kids wearing coats in the house? Well, I have found out over the years that the Chinese government controls when they turn the heat on. They don't control their individual heat in their apartments. And so these poor children are freezing until the end of December when the Chinese government decides that it's cold enough that they can finally turn the heat on, and then the kids will lose the coats in the house. But for a while, you'll see them all wearing coats through, the end of October through December, beginning of January, somewhere in there. Something else is that the Chinese people find shoulders offensive, which is kind of odd to us because they're just shoulders, but you don't want to ever wear tank tops in class because that is offensive to them. The word silly does not translate in Chinese. It translates closely to stupid. So we don't use it in that context, but they will read it that way. So don't ever use that word in your feedback. Now, VIP Kid in their curriculum does teach the word silly, and it teaches them in the context that we use it in American English, but just in your feedback, for your feedback purposes, don't ever use the word silly if a kid is being goofy or something, because the parent will take that as, you think my kid is stupid. Something else is the holidays. Like, I was completely unaware of the holidays that they celebrated in China. The big one, obviously, is Chinese New Year, because we generally don't celebrate that in America, but Chinese New Year is a big deal in China. So it's technically a 40-day long celebration. It doesn't go by the Gregorian calendar, so it switches each year, the dates, but it's somewhere between the middle of January to the middle of February. And the first year I was working for VIP Kid, my bookings were really slow during that time because I didn't have a lot of followers and stuff, but now I actually get more bookings during that time because the kids aren't in school, and so you can actually work all night long and stuff. But it's good, it's valuable to know about the holidays, like the Dragon Boat Festival and Mid-Autumn Festival and all of the things that they celebrate, because when you know that they're not in school, then you can open up your schedule for those nighttime slots, and you know to prepare financially for what may or may not happen. A couple key words would have been really nice to know. So now when I teach trials, I always say thank you in Chinese at the end, just to show them that I am sort of culturally aware of a couple of things. So in the Beijing area, they say it CCA. In the rest of the country, they say shishie or shit. It's like an SH sound instead of a C sound, but a soft C sound. But anyway, so at the end of my trial classes, I always say, okay, I'll say bye to my student and stuff, and I hope that I see you again. Goodbye. And then I'll say, bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. Thank you. CCA. And then I'll click off, right? So they at least hear, and they usually get a kick out of that. So thank you, I'm sorry, just a couple of key phrases, pretty easy to learn, just YouTube it, practice saying it, and I know we're technically not supposed to use Chinese in the classroom, but knowing a couple of little words is really valuable, especially with your really, really young students. Something else that I've learned over the years is that a green hat, for some reason, means that you are an unfaithful woman, unfaithful wife, so being someone who wears hats all the time and actually owning 3 green hats, and sometimes I do wear hats in class, don't wear a green hat. So something good to know is about the education system. Now, I learned that very quickly, and I think most of us teachers do when we start teaching online on a Chinese platform, but these kids do not get any breaks ever. And oftentimes when they do have time off for, say, Chinese New Year or any other holiday, they then will go to school on Saturday and Sunday to make up for it. They have crazy difficult exams. It's extremely competitive there, and their extracurriculars, like, never stop. So, you know, China changed their law now where the kids can't take classes after 9 p.m. or whatever, but it wasn't always like that, and they would be falling asleep in class. I've taught kids that were sick in bed. I taught a kid in the hospital once. Kids on the toilet. Like, they just don't let them ever get a break. So grant them a little bit of grace if they're not prepared for class, if they look tired, if they look stressed out, because they are. I can't even imagine. So it's good to educate yourself on that. I think that's about it. Those are the key things about the Chinese culture. There are a lot of other things you will learn through this journey, but it's good to just be knowledgeable about some of the things that they deal with there that we don't hear. Also, obviously, the government and the internet usage, so they don't have access to YouTube and things like that unless they're in Hong Kong or Taiwan, which are outlying places. Like, they don't follow the same laws. But generally, most of China does not have access to the Western world at all. So especially when you're teaching the real littles, and you have blonde hair like me, or red hair, blue eyes, whatever, you look different, sometimes there's just culture shock. And they're not talking because you look like an alien to them. Always, always, always have a backup company. Now, when I started at VIP Kid, I thought, I can do this. This is going to be great, you know. But the Chinese, again, with the Chinese culture, they're really big on you go to work no matter what. And so they've come a long way with the soft cancellations and the medium cancellations. But overall, you are allowed 6 cancellations per contract. Now, if an emergency happens and you don't have proof, or VIP Kid doesn't accept your proof, or something like that, then you could lose your job. And it can happen like that. Luckily, knock on wood, that hasn't happened to me. I've had some emergencies. I have applied for a couple of soft cancellations throughout the 3 years that I've been working here. But overall, I'm pretty good at not ever missing work. But with that being said, emergencies do happen. And so it's good to have a backup company. And I didn't think that. I didn't feel that way at first, but I wish that I just would have jumped in head first with 2 companies at least, or 3. But now, if you ask my opinion on which company meshes really well with VIP Kid, I am going to tell you Gogokid. And if you are interested in working for Gogokid, the information is going to be in the description box. Same with VIP Kid. But the reason that I think that they are a great pair is because they're so similar in the fact that they both offer short notice slots. They both have 25-minute classes. You can intertwine them so you can create a schedule that works for you with both companies. So it's just really good. That way, if something happens with one company, you can just open more slots at the other one, and your whole income doesn't just go down the toilet. I have noticed over the 3 years that when you do cancel, for some reason, not for some, I mean, it makes sense, but if you are someone who short notice slots always book, and if you are someone who always gets filled up with trials for things that don't book by your regular students, the trial classes, the short notice classes usually fill with trial classes, and the trial classes are not booked by the parents, they are booked by the company. And so there's usually someone on the other side who has their eye on you, who likes your style of teaching, and who hooks you up with those classes. I have no idea who my person is, I've never talked to them, never met them, but I know someone is booking those for me. But I have also noticed that after the couple times that I have canceled, or I missed a class or something happened, where my attendance wasn't 100%, for an entire month after that, my short notice slots don't book, and I'm not getting booked with trial classes. So, where I normally open half of my slots short notice because I make way more money doing that, if I had, like last month I had an emergency, so now for a month, I'm not getting booked with trials, so my short notice classes aren't filling. So now I'm losing money if I do short notice classes and don't open stuff at the Frenzy. So I just keep that in mind, and I will open things at the Frenzy, and at the end of the month, it just picks right back up. I wish that I would have signed up for VIP Kid 1 month sooner, so that I would have got my fancy orange hoodie for free instead of having to pay for it. But anyway.
Yeah, so there's my 13 tips of things that I have learned over the past 3 years working with VIP Kid. I hope that one of them or more of them have helped you. If you've learned anything on your journey, leave it in the comments below to help those that are watching that are maybe new to teaching online. And if you are not yet teaching online, but you're interested in doing so, the information will be in the description box. Just click on that link, punch in your basic information. Takes about 5 minutes. After that, please, please, please send me an email because I cannot see that I can see your first name. I can't see your email address. I don't have a way to contact you. So reach out to me, and I will be a good mentor. I will help you through the process and get you started as soon as possible. So I think that's about all I had to say for today. So hopefully that wasn't too long and too boring, but thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, please don't forget to like and hit that subscribe notification bell, subscribe button, you know, all that jazz. I really appreciate my viewers, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.